This tomb is decorated in lavish carvings. Judging by the imagery, the person buried here was a blacksmith of some renown. So this doesn't actually have combat or anything in it. And you can use this guy as a blacksmith when you're done here. The animated corpse makes no move to attack you. A voice like the sound of a blade being quenched hisses out when you get near.
Mercy. Bury your mercy. Bury your mercy.
He seems confused and doesn't even notice you. This crystal is dull and appears covered in soot. The mercenary soul throbs in your hand as you bring it near. Well, I wonder what it would say if I didn't have the mercenary soul. The mercenary soul is drawn into the crystal and it surges to life with a surprisingly violent flash. The skeletal face turns toward you. Though he has no eyes, you are certain he is looking straight at you.
You have awakened the crystal. You are the one my grave beneath.
With one bony arm, he gestures toward the open earth behind him. The corpse stands by calmly and watches you as you gingerly begin to sift through the earth of his own grave. Soon your fingers grasp something solid, a long box. At its owner's direction, you open it and draw forth a magnificent sword.
Take it. My greatest work. Yours.
Countermaster. Countermaster eliminates all of your risk when you take physical damage. Actually, that seems pretty cool. Yeah, I could actually make a mercenary soul right now with my stuff, but... And that's pretty much it here. For one duelist soul, I get a... Or one mercenary soul, I got a duelist item, which is pretty cool. Next up, the Shadowy Depths. Should be pretty near here. Here we go. The Shadowy Depths, a small building decorated with macabre... That's how you say it, right? Macabre carvings juts out of the earth here like an angry fang. There is no obvious way inside. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in Borgnina. Not for any real reason other than she's the closest thing to a devout person we have. This part of the wall has an unusual shape and is covered in strange etchings. A man is carefully examining the wall here. Oh! You startled me. I was so engrossed in studying this wall, I didn't hear you step up. I have no idea what voice I used for him last time. Doesn't really matter. There is something suspicious about this wall, don't you think? I would like to get inside and investigate, but I can't dispel the magic force protecting it. Curse my foolishness. If only I hadn't lost my emblem, I'm sure I'd be able to unravel this sorcery. Wait, that's... The old priest holds out his hand tentatively, and you give him the emblem. I can't pull that out while he's talking. Maybe if I had done it right before he said, wait, that's... Thank you. I'm surprised you didn't sell it, but perhaps that's just me being cynical. We met a while ago near that old, run-down cottage, didn't we? I should have introduced myself then. I am Pastor Nikolai, although the pastor part doesn't hold much meaning now. I've been looking for my associate, Evans, for the past few weeks, and I believe I've managed to track him down. I am most certain that he has been taken inside this strange building. This wall. There is a magic circle etched onto its surface, and it's an exact match for the ones that Evans liked to draw in his journal. I know it's the same magic circle painted on the floor in that old cottage. Dude! Alright. A lot of exposition here. Back home, Evans had taken quite an interest in dark magic. This is hardly abnormal, as priests are often called upon to combat such magic. But I believe he became infatuated with his studies and began to dabble in the practice of the very arts he was trained to oppose. The other pastors and I did all we could to keep his gaze turned toward the light, but it was of little use. One of our congregation somehow learned of his dabblings, and all 8 of our parish were put on trial for malediction. Evans seemed unshaken by these events. When we arrived on Ducat, his activities became bolder, less restricted. We found an abandoned building for shelter, and we hadn't much choice but to stay there. Months passed, and Evans eventually began to open portals into dark places, inviting tiny devils to come through. Tiny though they were, it took all of my strength and that of the other pastors to banish them. It became far too dangerous to stay in that place, and I couldn't bring myself to harm Evans. I felt safer with the idea of taking my chances elsewhere. I wrote Evans a parting letter and left him to his own devices. Was that a cowardly thing to do? Perhaps. I'm no killer though, and he was my friend. I thought perhaps I could find a way to put some sense into him if I only had enough distance to collect my thoughts. Originally, we wanted to turn that abandoned building into a sanctuary for anyone who was struggling with life on the island, but we couldn't even make a start. That was a tiny little building, okay? Yeah, you may have wanted to make a bigger stronghold. Invest more in labor. When I eventually returned, I found that everyone had taken their belongings and left. I kept wondering whether Evans had managed to turn himself around and if the others were safe. I've been looking for any signs of them since, and so that brings me to where I am now. I found Evans' emblem and his robes here. He is inside of that, I am certain. His emblem feels strange to me, so I dared not use it, but now that you brought mine, I can dispel the barrier around this wall. Please, stand back. Nikolai holds out the emblem and points it toward the wall. It begins to illuminate the area. I wonder if he'll live or not. What do you guys think? A wave of heat blasts through the opening. Nikolai throws his hands and shouts a barrier into being in front of him, but his body shudders heavily from the effort. I did not expect such a violent reaction. I have well overstrained myself. I know that I have no business asking this of you, but please, take my emblem and find Evans. Yeah, give me that bat. Nikolai stands frozen in fear, trying to catch his breath. He looks nearly ready to collapse. If I had any strength remaining, I would aid you without question. I am no use to you in my current state. Check real fast, make sure there's nothing else around here. Yeah, looks good. The staircase leads down a long way. Most of it is hidden by the darkness, but you can see two flickering lights illuminating the bottom a few steps. Would you like to head down? Yeah, whatever. This is why we're here. This looks like a comfortable place to take a nap, but now is perhaps not the time. Okay. This might be a comfortable place to sleep, but everything else about this room seems unsettling. Again. Okay. The chest is outlined with a silver trim and decorated with strange runes. There are a couple bottles of liquor stashed inside. This wall looks similar to the one Nikolai opened. It even has the same kinds of markings etched into it. Try using Nikolai's emblem here. Hold on. You hold out the emblem and point it towards the wall. The emblem glows for a moment, but suddenly fades. It seems to be tapped of magical energy after its last use. Somebody who is proficient with magic may still be able to use the emblem by channeling their energy through it, however. Oh, confound it. Okay, Beauregard has some. I was gonna have Borgnina, in case like she got killed by this. These two could still get their bond improvement for this map. Because I talk to them after each map. Borgnina already is 99 and has her max bond. Worst of 2. You hold out the emblem and point it towards the wall once more, focusing deeply on the emblem's shape. It begins to radiate with a resplendent light. Well, the reason I had Borgnina because I thought, you know, they did an explosion in the previous map. Hopefully if my characters get dragged up to me in a cutscene that it doesn't break the game, because I'm leaving them so far back. Let's just screen the area. The thin trails of smoke billow off from the candles around the magic circle, as if they had recently been extinguished. You suddenly realize that the temperature inside this room is stifling warm. Nikolai, my brother, I sensed the power of your emblem. I hoped that you would find this place. My only regret in all this is that I disappointed you. Once you see the beauty of this side, however, I'm certain you will understand. The florid chaos, remarkable! We have been apart for too long. Come to me, my dear brother. It looks like he may even be stuck here with everybody. That's not too bad. Who is... How am I able to... I don't have a telekinetic, do I? No, I don't. I had to move the baby monitor to make sure Borgnina had... I don't know how I'm able to unequip people, but whatever. It might be because... a stealthy bug. Because when I move, I bet it's going to give me the little flickering to show that he's in combat. Alright, so let's stay away from the Ignigon for a second so that he can run in. And everybody else will... Let's see, where would I want the Ignigon to be? Kind of want as many people as possible to be surrounded by the Ignigon, so let's say here. See, I can't equip him anymore, yeah, so that was it. Again, as I like to say, it's not that I'm trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. So if they manage to land a blow on him, you know, you guys just chill here. So by hitting him, all you do is remove his risk. Alright, that's Pastor Evans right there. You've returned. Please, tell me, was Evans down there? Well, yeah, only because I happened to be hovering over his name. I wouldn't have known otherwise. I beg of you, please, tell me what you saw. You take a moment to explain what happened. Nikolai's face gradually becomes racked with sadness and guilt. He turns away for a moment, his breathing labored and heavy, but trying his best to maintain his composure. Oh. No. No. He lost his way somewhere down the line. Yes! When he was summoning demons you had to banish, I think that might have been a big clue. He lost his way somewhere down the line, but he was a good man. I should have done more to help him back on the right path. These past few months could have gone entirely differently. Your entire group was banished here. I think it was already bad and you probably should have done something about him. Vecbornina probably would have attacked them on sight, because I think she does that to you if you are a Maledictus, if you have that brand. The seductive power of the dark arts must be greater even than I imagined. How could such a kind and virtuous man become so corrupted? I have no answer. Although I guess if you're innocent, I guess it... yeah. If you're innocent, I guess she... I don't know. I think she joins you if you're innocent, but if you are... basically, if your jailbreaker is the demon, Bornina will attack you, I think. Otherwise, I think she does not, but I may try that next on another playthrough or something. I'm not sure what to do from here. Perhaps I ought to find somewhere to sleep and allow recent events to settle in my mind. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend sleeping here even though I cleared it out. You have my sincere gratitude for granting Evans his final rest. There was nothing more to be done, and the Evans I knew would have wanted it this way. Here, I want you to have this. It used to belong to him, but it might prove useful to you. Please, take it as a token of my thanks, and please keep my emblem. I don't have any more use for it. Nikolai gives you a soft smile. He is clearly exhausted and overcome. I must bid you farewell for now, but I hope that we get to meet again. Nikolai steadily makes his way down the road. Wow, that's pretty nice, actually. For an accessory. Let's head back to base, and I'm going to show you what I can do with that emblem. If I take Nikolai's emblem, which has Illumination 5, Rex Align 10, and Warding 15. Take this one, which has Rex Mana, Illumination 10, Magic 25, Warding 25. So Rex Align 10, okay, Illumination 5. So if they were to be perfectly merged, you would have 15 Illumination and 40 Warding, 25 Magic, Rex Align, Rex Mana, and Regeneration 5. Let's forge though and see what happens. I now have an object that is actually significantly better. Oh, I think it's... The magic was decreased a little bit, unusually down to 23. That seems kind of odd that it's dropped at 23. I don't know why, but whatever. Its illumination is greatly enhanced. It has a brand new critical. It doesn't show Rex Mana or Rex Align, but for all I know, there's more traits here than is permitted to be displayed. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because those traits I didn't care too much about. Let's see here. It's not quite as bright as my Golden Mask, but it is significantly better as far as critical and magic. I will keep my Golden Mask on because this allows you to see when I'm moving around. So, and of course I don't actually need to improve my damage or armor right now, unless the game gets patched where I can no longer use my stealth to overrun the enemy like this. Let's do the tolling station. This road must have once been a major thoroughfare into the caldera. An old tolling station sits here, crumbling alongside the road. I took notes on these places for anything peculiar, and I can spend a rare key to unlock an area that gives me 530 gold. That's not quite worth it. So if I happen to have brought a telekinetic, I guess I could have just done that instead. Alright. Is that really all that's in there? Hold on, then. Let me take care of this then. Oh, I can't telekinetically get... Ah, there are some things you cannot do with telekinesis. Very well. I turned on the lantern, that's the important part. Might as well. Let's just double check this door. We got 15 rare keys. Alright, let's see. Let's see this awesome amount of money. 530 gold! Yep, exactly it. Let's get going. So yeah, don't open that. There's no point. I can afford to. There's just no real point to doing it though. Rosewood Bridge. A bridge still crosses over a narrow stretch of river here, as well as the ruins of some sort of small rest stop. The sign reads Rosewood Tea House Menu in bold calligraphy across the top. Okay. You're unsure if the sign has been altered by vandals or whether the gâteau really is that good. The chest is fitted with an unusual circular lock which lacks a keyhole. While playing with the lock, you notice that it can be rotated or emits a quiet clunking noise. Turn the lock in both directions by varying degrees for a while, but to no avail. There's a small scrap of paper hidden underneath one of the legs on this bed. Would you like to take it? Yeah, whatever. You lift up the leg and slide the piece of paper out from underneath. You unfold the note. There are a bunch of circles drawn on it. Each one has a curved arrow and a number written inside. You take the note you found from under the bed and follow the instructions written on it. You get halfway through the instructions before the mechanism lets out a loud noise. Perhaps the locking mechanism will reset itself. It seems that the combination has to be performed quickly. Do you want to have another try? The lock jumps outward a little and the chest lid automatically pops open. A wonderful sweet smell hits your nose. Could it be? The varnish on these tables has mostly flaked off and the exposed wood is quite damp and moldy. It's hard to imagine that they have been used recently. Yeah, it looks like these people were probably driven off or killed by these trolls here. And that's why I thought the name was first, the Trolling Bridge. Or at least that's what I think of it more. Which was one area ago, I know. This small sack is made of a soft white and gray pelt. You pick it up and loosen the tie and see that it's filled with coins. There's my pretend at combat right there. I'm still trying to work on the bond for Beauregard and Rengda. Both characters that many people are both characters that might be a little rare in people's playthroughs. Also both orcs. Hey, I've reached it. The Greenback Shipyard.